Gardening for Gdansk this Father's Day with Ryanair's low-fare flights.
Showers will be fairly widespread this evening, but will become mostly confined to Atlantic coastal counties later. Lowest temperatures 5 to 9 degrees with light to moderate west to southwesterly winds. And now you're up to date on News Talk.
The Newsround on Off the Ball.
With UPMC Orthopaedic Care. When things don't move, rotate or bend like they used to, choose us to help you get back in action.
This is News Talk.
Good evening, you're welcome along to Thursday night's Off the Ball. We're with you till 10 o'clock this evening, and tonight in the show we're speaking to boxer Kieran Malloy. So he's a boxer from Uachtarard, County Galway, and he's got a headline fight at Pearse Stadium in Salt Hill later this month. So he's going to be with us from 7:30 to talk about his career so far, going from the amateur ranks to the professional ranks, sparring Katie Taylor and plenty more besides. From 8 o'clock we're going to be joined in studio by Richie Hogan. He's going to be looking ahead to the weekend's hurling deciders in Munster and in Leinster. And then after 9 o'clock we'll have Luke Jensen on the line. So today is the anniversary of the final of the men's doubles at the 1993 French Open, which Luke Jensen and his brother Murphy won. So we'll be reflecting on a pretty incredible time that he had in Paris, particularly in the aftermath of celebrating that win at Roland Garros. And then also in the 9 to 10 hour, Nathan Murphy will be here with us to look ahead to tomorrow night against Senegal. Heimir Hallgrimsson with his press conference this afternoon. Nathan Murphy is also here for the news round. A very good evening.
Oh, yeah. Buried the lead there, didn't you?
Nathan Murphy.
No, that's Luke Jensen's brother is called Murphy.
Oh. Yes.
Murphy Jensen.
Murphy Jensen is his name.
Great name.
We need to get them both on the show sometime. Cameron Hill, a very good evening to you.
Good evening.
We're not burying the lead here this evening because the news round is coming your way momentarily as well. But yes, Luke Jensen, Murphy Jensen, they conquered all comers. It was an anniversary. Is today D-Day?
No, tomorrow's D-Day.
Tomorrow's D-Day.
June 5th, Germany's were
So
fine.
It was coming up to the D-Day anniversary in 1993, and he makes the point that there was a lot of pressure on them because it was USA versus Germany in the men's doubles finals in Roland Garros that year. I'll let Luke Jensen tell the story himself. He was there, I was not there, and that'll be coming your way after 9 o'clock this evening. They had lots of hair as well as the other thing to take away from the Jensen brothers at that point.
Like, my only worry of getting Murphy Jensen on with the great Luke Jensen is that, like, if their personalities are similar, it may just be an energy overload.
It could be.
Like, Luke is, if you're feeling down, if you're doubting yourself as a broadcaster, if you've had a couple of interviews that have gone wrong, Owen, things haven't gotten,
no idea what
this
you're
would never
about.
happen to you. This me of course, back in the day, you know, and just not feeling good about life. And is this the right profession for me? Maybe I should get a real job. You get Luke Jensen on, and at the end of that you go, you know what, this is the best gig. This is the best gig going. Getting to talk to people like Luke Jensen is what makes it all worthwhile.
And you're concerned that two of them would be on? Like, is that
Just my whoa.
You'd OD on the good vibes.
Nathan might get an ego.
Right.
He might actually develop some sort of self-confidence and self-belief that has been sorely lacking for his entire career.
There goes the humility. I guess, yeah.
So we're looking at two friendlies in the next, 72 hours or so, all the way till Tuesday, actually. And then there are our last couple of games before the World Cup qualifiers begin. And Heimir Hallgrimsson has been talking a big game over the last few months. And I think as a nation, we have no doubt about the fact that we're all ready to get hurt again. I think last night you were even doing a little bit of a scouting mission for the Republic of Ireland, watching our Portuguese opponents.
You don't want to do that too often. You don't want to be brought back down to earth. I'm buying what Heimir's selling. You know, I think sometimes we've lost the run of ourselves, and maybe if Stephen Kenny had come out with some of the comments that Heimir had come out with, people would be going, no, it's not realistic. But when he talks about Senegal being the type of team we're going to face next year, I'm buying into it, because why the hell not? He's a very convincing man. I guess, you know, when you're dealing with somebody from a medical background, you want them to be convincing when they tell you something about your future. So I'm believing him when he's telling us we're going to get to the World Cup. Until you sit down and you watch Portugal last night, who are in our group, and we sort of looked at that group with Armenia, Hungary and Portugal and thought, no, there might be a chance if, you know, teams cancel each other out. We play Hungary at home first in September. We win that. You know, suddenly they've sort of given up. They're angry. There is infighting. There's all that good stuff going on. All that good stuff going on. And, you know, we sort of take advantage from there. But then you watch Portugal last night and you're looking at the team and they're playing Bernardo Silva and Ruben Neves in the middle of midfield. Vitinha's coming off the bench, obviously still been celebrating. So he's there. João Palhinha, who, let's not forget, was one of the best midfielders in the Premier League a couple of years ago, he's coming off the bench. Rafael Leao doesn't even get off the bench. Diogo Jota's coming on. And your only real hope is that you're still trying to convince yourself that, well, while Cristiano Ronaldo's in that team, they're going nowhere fast.
Yeah, sure, you can only play 11 players at one time, Nathan. And there's injuries to be had between now and then. Is Ronaldo any good at the moment?
Well, he still scored.
Yeah.
Scored the winner, sort of poacher's finish. You just worry that, so where Ronaldo is going to cost them is latter stages of big tournaments and his inability to get around the pitch. You still feel he's going to score goals all of the time, and they're going to create so many chances. But I still feel a playoff is a realistic possibility.
To do that, we just need to finish second?
Finish second, yeah. Now, then it's a convoluted playoff process where you go in semi-finals and final. But that first camp in September is everything. It's Hungary at home. It's Armenia away. 6 points from that and start booking our flights.
Yeah, I don't know. It's your mood has definitely brightened considerably around the possibility of a World Cup 2026 in the last 6 weeks, let's say.
Well, this is sort of what happens as I get closer to kick-off for every Republic of Ireland international. My peak enthusiasm is as Michael D is walking out meeting the players. I have sort of Men in Black style, forget everything that has previously happened.
It's the Jensen effect.
And I'm like, wow. I have full belief in our ability, and then maybe slowly but surely over the 90 minutes as I listen to Stewie moan his way through, oh, how are we going through this again? But it felt like we turned something of a corner against Bulgaria, albeit not the best quality of opposition, but thought we played some really nice football across those couple of games. I just think having that Hungary game at home, it feels all or nothing on day one.
Yeah, it also feels like just such a long time since we've been on a proper odyssey, even where like the hopes are at least being dragged out of you for months on end. Like probably right up until the Denmark 5-1 is probably the last time we've actually felt this. Everything was a little bit coloured by COVID post that and having a very mediocre national team. So I just welcome the idea that we're in the mix for at least a few windows here. I think that would be a start.
Well, it like... That's interesting you say we're in the mix, like it hasn't started yet. So yeah. Of course we're in the mix. What you're saying is you like this really condensed period because it means that it can't be over 8 months before it begins.
No, we're still ahead of Portugal on the table here.
Yeah.
No?
No, we're not. No, we're not.
I'm saying that I'm hopeful that at least after Armenia and Hungary first match days that Ireland won't be out of it.
That's key. That's key. And that was obviously what undermined Stephen Kenny is that the opening fixtures every time the results sort of stalled us before we even started. So that's why this time you just hope, because otherwise, like, obviously we have Euro 28 in Dublin to look forward to and all of that jazz, but it's going to be a long old winter if September doesn't go well.
Did the players seem like they're in, like, for the first time, a good mood to be in Ireland camp and for the first time in ages? I know it's a friendly window, but every player that has been up before media this week, there seems to be a kind of reassuring calm about them. It's not this drudgery, because so many of those players up until Hallgrimsson had come in had only known pain in the green jersey.
I think in public the players are generally good at putting their disappointments to one side and certainly talking the talk. And there's no reason why they shouldn't have a bit of confidence right now. You know, we won a couple of games in the Nations League. We won both games against Bulgaria. I won't say it's a fully settled squad because there's, a few changes again, but a lot of these guys have come through together for 5 or 6 years. So, they all know each other. You get the sense they're probably quite close off the pitch at this stage as well. So we mentioned Adam Eada's on 30 caps now, like Nathan Collins, Darrell O'Shea, all of these guys have been around for a long time. So I think they've just matured and are a lot more comfortable in front of a microphone and facing up to what's in front of them.
Definitely. They've grown up a good bit. They've got negative experiences and that's brought them on a significant amount, you'd have to say. So you've been a busy man. You've been out at that press conference earlier on, which will bring you sounds of throughout tonight's show. Heimir Hallgrimsson speaking. You've also been working away on an absolutely brilliant piece for season 2 of Inner Drive, Nathan. Do you want to tell us about this?
Yeah, this is with the Shamrock Rovers manager, Stephen Bradley. So our Inner Drive series over the last couple of years, we've looked at some very recognisable figures in Irish sport. Sean O'Gahalpine was the first episode this time. And looking at a different part of their life and times when they've had to show some resilience and that they've had to battle through difficulties. And to say Stephen Bradley fits the bill for that would be an understatement in so many parts of his life, from being the best footballer in Ireland when he was 15 and having his pick of every club in England, and signing, as he put it, a contract that had him on first team wages at Arsenal at 17. It not working out, him going through a horrific attack in his own home when he was a teenager in London, that threatened his life, that almost ended his career, that ultimately ended him up with him coming back to Ireland, probably falling out of love with football, retiring at 25, 26, going into management in his early 30s. Obviously on the pitch, by and large, it's been massively successful, certainly after the first couple of years at Shamrock Rovers and winning the 4 in a row and FAI Cup and, you know, the incredible run in Europe last year. But at the same time then having to deal with the diagnosis of leukemia for his 8-year-old son, Josh, going on 3 years ago at this stage. And, you know, Stephen and his wife Emma came and spoke to us. His assistant Glenn Cronin, Gavin Bazunu, flew in to Dublin to talk to us about the impact Stephen Bradley's had on his life as well. It's a remarkable journey they've gone on, particularly over the last 3 years, and the bravery that Josh has shown, and people will have seen Josh, particularly on TV, lifting the league trophy. I'll play a clip of it because actually we sort of see that side of it. And we see Stephen Bradley getting it together every Friday night on the sideline. But here's himself and his wife Emma just talking about Josh's diagnosis and some of what they've had to go through over the last few years.
How do we get through this as a family? How do we get through this for Josh and Jaden and Ella, and the way to do it is just face it head on. And you have to have anger at the start. You do feel sorry for yourself. You have all them emotions, but very quickly, and you do have to say, right, let's face it head on. And
so it was 3.5 years. So you just have to. You couldn't live angry every day. But he's became a pro at it. He's doing it now. 3 years now, but he really does take it in his stride.
He's been incredible. Them moments that you talk about, the day he lifted the trophy, he was just out of hospital, and he was so sick at that time, you know. But all he was talking about was the game on the Friday night and being there. I remember bringing him down to theatre that week, and before he gets knocked out to go into theatre, all he was talking about, am I going to the game on Friday?
Yeah, this is an absolutely extraordinary piece. For anybody who wants to watch it as well, go onto the Off the Ball YouTube page, and one of the most recent uploads from Off the Ball is the Stephen Bradley piece. It's available for free for everybody to watch or listen to, but I'd highly recommend going onto YouTube and watching the full 50 minutes. It's absolutely phenomenal work by Nathan and the team. So that's episode 2 of Alliance's Inner Drive, which we're proud to do here on Off the Ball. So Sean O'Halpy in episode 1, Stephen Bradley and co on episode 2. We're going to play more of that as well after 9 o'clock on the show this evening. But I believe, Cameron, we are starting this evening with football on the Newsround, which is with UPMC Orthopaedic Care. When things don't move, rotate or bend like they used to, choose us to help you get back in action. Yeah, so Troy Parr trained with the Republic of Ireland squad today after suffering with illness this week. No sick as a parrot puns here tonight. He remains a doubt for tomorrow's friendly with Senegal at the Aviva Stadium, but the rest of the squad are fit and ready to play. So Josh Keeley, John Joe Patrick Finn, Gillian Phillips and Josh Honohan of Shamrock Rovers, all hoping to make their international debuts in this window. Manager Heimir Hallgrimsson admitted today he wouldn't mind losing the 2 upcoming friendlies if they won their opening World Cup qualifiers in September.
For us, it's a limited time I've had, and we have had together doing what we are trying to achieve. And the World Cup coming up, September is going to be huge for us, and that's our main objective, is to prepare for September. You obviously always want to win all your games, but it's good that is maybe not as important as you said before. Most games, national team games, are now official competitive games, so we're lucky that we have 2 friendlies now, so we can, like we have said before this camp, to give some players a needed rest after a really long season, and hopefully that will give us fresh players in September. Bumped into an Icelandic gent in the smoking area of a pub over the course of the weekend, and he was raving about Heimir Hallgrimsson. Says he's a very smooth operator, and I wish I had more nuggets to give you, but unfortunately I don't really have much more to give, at which point I'm just going to defer to my script here. A comment from John S. that says, somebody from Mayo buying into hype. This sounds familiar.
Oh, no, Listen, I'm generally very realistic about where we are, and we obviously have to remind ourselves about the dire state that we've allowed ourselves to get into in terms of the production of young players in this country. But I think around the games, you can allow yourself to dream, to believe.
4 more months of dreaming, basically.
To look at your flights to America for next summer and cost it all up.
Yeah, it will be quite. Like we'd take any tournament at this point. Like, I mean, where would be your venue of choice next year? Like, are you saying
part
Mexico?
of me thinks you want to go to Mexico, don't you?
Yeah.
Because you want something a little bit different. You want a full-on World Cup experience where I think they're going to fully embrace it. They'll probably be welcoming to people from outside coming, which it's becoming increasingly clear maybe America will not be so much.
Yeah, you can pretend it's like World Cup 86 as well all over again, which I think is a nice spot of nostalgia for a lot of football fans.
There's no real need for you to go because you've sort of done all that part of the world already.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll leave you off
novelty. You want Canada.
Yeah,
That's what you want.
Yeah, exactly. Take another one off the list. You're sticking with the football here, Cameron.
Yeah, the draw for the next rounds of the men's and the women's FAI Cups was made today. So holders Shelbourne have been handed a tough assignment in the women's first round, a home game against Galway United. And the other ties from today's draw, losing finalists from last year, Athlone Town will entertain Terenure Rangers. You have top flight rivals Wexford and Bohemians meeting at Ferry Carry Park, while elsewhere Cork City host both Peamount United and Shamrock Rovers entertain Waterford. Sligo welcome DLR Waves, Ferns United go to Treaty United, and Newbridge Town are at home to Whitehall Rangers. There are no All-Premier Division ties in the men's second round. Drogheda United will start their FAI Cup title defence at home to Crumlin United. Assistant boss Dara Doyle says the Clareton Blues are looking forward to the second half of the season.
Yeah, no, it's been really good. I think when you look particularly at the second half of our season last year, from when we came back from the break from July onwards, our results and performances were really good, and that's when the Cup started obviously last year. And with the run we had in the Cup, doing so well and getting to the final and winning it, it's brought a lot of momentum to the club. Then at the end of the season, when we've turned to fully professional as a club, it's really stood to us, and the momentum from, I suppose, winning the Cup last year and how we ended the season, it's carried on into this year, which has been really positive for us as regards the league and having any target on our back. It's every game in our division is a tough game, so we're just looking forward to everything now that's ahead and making sure the second half of the season can be equally as positive for us.
We must be nearing some sort of a record for the closest derby ever in the second round of the FAI Cup, with Fairview Rangers playing Shelbourne.
How close are we talking?
Well,
exact same.
Fairview and Tucker Park are pretty tight together,
right next to each other.
There's surely a derby that's involved teams who share a stadium.
Well, throughout the years, I'm sure there are teams that have shared stadiums at times, but I guess they're now home.
So that's the tie you're...
Okay, it's not that interesting. Fine, I'm just throwing it out there. Castlebar Celtic, I think, if you're looking for a giant killing, there's your giant killing. Castlebar Celtic against Longford.
Yeah.
Big one.
I mean, where's John Estigan with his comment about Nathan now building up the hype on Castlebar Celtic once again? James says Ireland's first game in the World Cup will be in Vancouver versus the Netherlands. Mark my words. And Jeffrey says, our Irish football fans equals Scottish rugby fans. World beaters before every competition, only to realise that the team is not actually that good. Or Jeffrey...
Delete everything I just said about Fairview Rangers, who are of course from Limerick. I remember we were going to Fairview Rangers for like under 13 games.
Do the other Fairview club today?
I should have gone with the Colester Donacarney Bohemians been a proper Northside derby, shouldn't I?
Oh well, it's the choice you don't
apologies
make.
to the people of Fairview.
I was just going to correct Jeffrey there. We're not the Scotland of football. We actually build up the hype and then realise we're not even in the competition, let alone realise that we're not as good as we previewed before the competition. So at least Scotland qualify in the Rugby World Cup. Do you want to run us through the rest of these Cup ties?
Yeah, so the pick of the rest of the games, top of the first division, Dundalk will meet bottom of the Premier Division, Sligo Rovers. You've got 2024 finalist Derry City away to Treaty United. Shamrock Rovers welcoming Stephen Elliott's Wexford. Bohemians are drawn away to Colester Donacarney, as Nathan has just alluded to. Limerick's Fairview Rangers.
How many angry messages have we got in?
Hopefully loads.
Yeah, don't worry. If only there was a League of Ireland late night tomorrow. Cork City welcome Leicester Celtic. You've got Galway United entertaining Tulka Rovers, and St Patrick's Athletic bring UCC to Inchicore.
You are Sticking with football next, Cameron.
Yeah, the second of the Nations League semi-finals is down for decision tonight. Spain taking on France in Stuttgart from 8. Portugal, of course, awaiting the winners in the final. And Lauren James is in England's 23-player squad for this summer's Euros in Switzerland. The Chelsea forward was an injury doubt, as she's not played since April because of a hamstring problem. Arsenal striker Michelle Aguiman, who scored 41 seconds into her senior debut 2 months ago, is also in the group. Millie Bright made herself unavailable yesterday, while Mary Earps and Fran Kirby recently retired from international football.
Speaking of tournaments that we're going to enviously watch on, golf then. Rory McIlroy, how's he going?
Well, he's 1 over par following his opening round at the RBC Canadian Open today. Back-to-back bogeys in the final 2 holes saw the world number 2 card 71 to sit 6 shots off the current lead. There's a 3-way tie at the top on 5 under in Ontario. Shane Lowry is 2 under through 3, while Seamus Power is level early in his opening round.
Another birdie for Shane Lowry there, so he's on to 3 under par.
Hey.
1 to keep an eye on for next week at Oakmont. You'd have to think it suits his skill set. It's going to be pretty difficult off the tee if he can get the putter rolling, which has definitely been a struggle this year, and he's had some tough old Sundays. But yeah, I think Shane might like the look of Oakmont next week.
2016,
yeah,
came fairly close.
What might have been.
So
Shane Lowry has good course history as well, and he's a far better golfer and in far better form right now than he was back then.
Do you want to bring us on to the tennis, Cameron?
Yeah, Arina Sabalenka produced a dominant display to reach the final at the French Open for the first time today. The top seed produced a 6-love whitewash in the third set to knock out defending champion Iga Swiatek at Roland Garros. She'll now face Coco Gauff in Saturday's decider after the second seed ended the fairy tale run of world number 361 Loïs Poisson in straight sets. Gauff said she knew she would have to contend with a ravenous crowd backing their home favourite.
This is my first time playing a French player here, actually in this tournament that I can remember, maybe during the COVID year, but there was no fans. So, yeah, how I managed, I mean, I was mentally prepared during the match, or before the match, that it was going to be 99% for her, but I just tried to block it out, and actually, when you guys were chanting her name, I was saying to myself my name, just to kind of, psych. Just to psych myself out. You have to do that, but I think it's an incredible atmosphere to play in front of this crowd, regardless if they're for me or not. And I know you guys would usually root for me if I'm not playing a French, so I love you guys still.
More on this with Luke Chancellor a little bit later on. 2 very quick things before we wrap up. Nathan?
We have a new main sponsor of the inaugural Club World Cup.
Go on.
The PIF.
Oh, good.
Okay. Well, I mean, congratulations to them.
The Saudi Public Investment Fund have entered a long-term partnership with FIFA. They're going to be the main sponsor of the Club World Cup. Of course, you'll remember that another subsidiary of the PIF invested $1 billion into DAZN, so that DAZN could then spend all of that money on the rights for the Club World Cup.
Yeah, okay. Follow that money, see where it goes. And lastly, Cameron, your final story.
Yeah. Former Munster wing Conor Phillips will be among the contestants on this season's Love Island, which starts this coming Monday. The 25-year-old follows ex-Ireland 7-star Greg O'Shea, who won the show's 5th season back in 2019. Phillips made 2 appearances for Munster and has played 15s for AIL side Ternier College for the last 2 seasons. He also lined out for Ireland 7s this season and back in 2021.
It's going to be such a weird thing when people all over Great Britain are hearing this on. They're like, why does this guy keep slandering David Humphreys so much? What has he done to this fella? Who is David Humphreys and why is he taking away his job?
Is this big?
I will defer to Cameron on this. I think it is. I mean, it's
the
massive reality TV show. It's going to be big for that guy anyway. That guy's about to become very, very famous.
Oh, huge day for Crescent College has produced 2 Love Island contestants now.
Was Greg O'Shea on Love Island?
He was, yeah.
He's done very well out of it.
Done very, very well out of it, yeah. So
was Maura Higgins on Love Island?
She was.
Correct.
Same series.
There we
less.
go.
Somebody's never watched this. I know an awful lot of people.
You know a lot about reality TV.
Not so much about geography.
No, absolutely not. Apologies to everybody in Fairview Rangers. We will make up for this in some way, shape or form down the line. Right, we got to go. We'll be chatting to Kieran Malloy after the break, who is boxing in his hometown of Galway very, very shortly, the 28th of June. So we'll chat to him about that. Before that, it's time for the Cash Machine.
News Talk's Cash Machine.
Now, there's another huge amount to be won in the cash machine this Friday. The number you now need to know is €75,000 exactly. Text play to 57557. That's 57557. Get your entry in by 3 p.m. on Friday, and then across the Go Loud network of stations, someone will get that call. If your phone rings, you have to answer it within 5 rings. Give us the exact amount in euro and cent, and you will win the cash. So remember that amount one more time. €75,000 exactly. Over 18s only. Text costs €2.50 plus your standard message rate to play. You're playing across the Go Loud network of stations, and terms and conditions are on newstalk.com.
The Newsround on Off the Ball.
With UPMC Sports Surgery Clinic. When things don't move, rotate or bend